Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Tech Simplified TV and a very warm welcome to the Semiconductor podcast. Today, our guest is Subhasish Chakroborti from Agile Semiconductor. Agile Semiconductor is his startup. Today, we will talk about his startup, his vision. Recently, he has launched a book in Amazon. We'll talk about that also. Before that, he has inclusive experience of 21 years. He has worked with all the top EDA vendors, starting from Atlanta, Cadence, Synopsys, ANSYS, with all of them. As much I could understand, Shubhashish, you were an R&D engineer in EDA companies, right? R&D used to develop tools.
Yeah, so my primary, responsibilities started with R&D engineer when I started my career, and as I start from there, it's basically um, more sort of industry, knowing of the industries, knowing of the people out there, and different technologies, and when I started with some, it was more sort of a front end side of things and front end of I would say the technology in terms of semiconductor. And as we grow, it came to the the other side, that is the back end side of the thing. And so you can correlate different technologies, something like static timing analysis and for planning layout. Those goes to the back end side of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. When I started on the front end side of the things. That is more sort of knowing Verilog and knowing various VSDLs, and those are the primary key components of you know uh, learning the designs. So when you write something, you write it on the paper, something like we are discussing here, and then you transform into a particular semiconductor chip. So that
Mhm.
transition itself is basically you can think in that way. Let's say transition of front end to the back end side and then ultimate manufacturing. So in my total career, so I have been associated with different technologies, and so those are the components of this whole phase of things. Yeah.
Actually, I why I ask this question because if you are a part of companies, since Cadence and Synopsys are also in IP design domain also, they have an idea about who are the R&D engineer develop these tools. I have worked in Synopsys for a very small time. I have an idea, I have seen, and many of my ex colleagues from Intera, they are absolutely doing great in Synopsys, Cadence. So I have idea who make all these tools and all these complicated algorithms. Every time I keep on, right now I'm doing a series on backend physical
Mm.
design. So every time that's more emphasize. I'm emphasizing more on uh, the theory and the algorithm why and what part. So I keep on saying the AEs or application engineer gather data from customer, and that is get back to the group of um, R&D engineers. They are the unsung hero of all EDA vendors, because all those critical work, timing, precision, everything is done as a mathematics, as code within the tool by these EDA tools, by these R&D engineers. So designers who don't ever see any R&D engineers meet Subhasish Chakraborti today. He is one among those unsung heroes. He used to do all these critical mathematics. He used to put all of these codes inside the tool so that the tool uh, run well. So that is the reason I asked, you are a R&D
Yeah,
engineer,
you are
because
perfectly right. As you mentioned about R&D engineers are unsung hero. So they are, they develop tools. You can say that the people who code on the Verilog VSTL side, on the designer side also. So that they also have a very key component of doing the designs. So for examples, we are talking about designs in semiconductor, right? That is also started to be built in India,
hmm,
and so there are a lot of designers people out there, and then you can think of it's starting off as big designs, and then the next step is basically manufacturing. But on top of it is basically the software, which enables the automation of the
Yes.
designs. So that is something that we are talking about. That there are many people who work out there. They started their journey with C++, right? And they work on those companies that you have mentioned, and they are really champion because they come up with some technologies. And you have mentioned it correctly. I think there are top premier people who started during my when I started my career. It was a very complicated software, compared to other software. Generally the top notch people used to join the CBS semiconductor domain, the design automation domain. And if you think that the return of their contribution in terms of the salary, so those things also very high at that moment of time. But later on, that other industries also, they also match with those salaries. And now there is some balance because there are a lot of MNCs has come up with those things. So that is something I just talked about, just keeping not semiconductor alone, or not EDA alone, or not R&D people as an unsung hero alone, but as a whole, what things are going on in terms of uh, innovation, I would say.
Yeah.
I just summarized it in that way.
Okay, so how was your path so far? Now it's completely different journey. Previously you were part of big corporations. Now it's your own. So how can you summarize so far the journey? How could you summarize it?
My journey in the flow of EDA semiconductor has been quite nice, I would say, because when I started, it was work and work and joy. Because at that point of time, there were not much competitor out the market. There are only few EDA companies, and it was a niche product, and that's why we used to really enjoy the time. And we used to mingle with people. We used to go to the cafeterias and lot of talk. We used to not only on the idiot side of things, but also in general the technology side of things. We used to talk about lot more about that. But as things moved on, there are it really proliferated the industry in terms of there are a lot of EDA startup at that moment came up. There were competitions out there, and then there are semiconductor uh, design house, I would say. They have started their operations in India. So that basically opened up the door for the lot of opportunities for people like us who
Hmm.
really want to get a feel of the corporate things. Because working on a small scale company and working on the big giant, there is a difference because you can feel
Hmm.
the corporate enjoyment. You go with not necessarily you are learning the technology, but go with restaurant parties, get-togethers, and
Yes.
every now and then there are a launch of new products. People come
Hmm.
and join there. They talk with each other. They share their ideas. And now there are the conferences are being held in different parts of India, right? And there's a lot of opportunities for people to come in a handshaking distance and see each other, right? So
Exactly.
I think, for example, due to this book launch, we joined in this video podcast, and we talk to each other about this semiconductor
Hmm.
journey and semiconductor technology. So the market has given us this opportunity to mix
Yes,
with people out
absolutely.
there. Yeah.
Previously with small
and
organizations and
and most
especially, yeah, tell me.
importantly, let me talk about the mm, new company that I have started with. It is Agile Semiconductor. I used to
Yeah.
talk with the people. So this is a company that I have started. It is on the inception model right now, and I would not mention much of the things because there are a lot of things going on in terms of innovation out there. But my primary things is basically whatever I have learned throughout the journey, throughout my careers of 2 decades of my career, I want to do something on my own, something that I can write myself, and something which is agile. Agile in the sense that you know, working in a startup company gives you a lot of flexibility to change your ideas, to change your design, to change your decisions. So you can be agile, you can make a lot of changes out there. And the second thing is that I need to give back something to the industry in terms of product and services and whatever the things. And so Agile Semiconductor is something which delivers to the customers the product, the services, and also the education side of things. I also need to be acquainted and associated with, because there are a gap in terms of semiconductor knowledge out there in India.
Absolutely.
So we also need to contribute on that side of things, and that's why I have also kept an wing in the semiconductor educations as well. So they are
Great.
my mission, you can say, that I want to be associated with mm, big EDA giants, EDA companies, and serve their, not necessarily EDA, but semiconductor and the design houses, and serve their services, provide software solutions to them, and also contribute on the semiconductor education side of things. But
Great.
it's lot of long way to go, and just have
Hmm.
started. So, you know, so that's the
This
thing.
gap
But
is,
my,
yes,
yeah,
it's true. There is a huge gap because when we get comments of our all content is free in YouTube and in blog. So the kind of comment we get from students, both from India and abroad, so we understand it's not in India. This is not the case in India. It's almost everywhere there is a gap. Other than very premier institute, very little coverage about VLSI because it's up to this time it was really very niche area. Even I could say that whenever I used to say someone that I am from VLSI, no one can easily understand what is VLSI. Then I have to every time refer that you are using a smartphone that cheap, we design that. Then oh that thing, okay, okay. Then they can relate. IT is much more. It came earlier in 90s, so people are much more used to the term IT companies. But whatever they
but the
know,
process of started of you are said that is right. So even now also it was very prominent even before, that we used to tell our industry name or company name, and we used to tell also that what it serves. And as you mentioned, it's just
exactly.
the cheap, the phone you are using, that is being built by us. But nowadays
Yes,
the branding is has been very prominent, and
yes.
people started knowing, not necessarily about advertisement, but it is being to the conferences and all these things. People started to know, and it has
Hmm.
been a common thing. But
Hmm.
you were mentioned correctly that branding is required to
Hmm.
further increase the semiconductor market. Yeah,
If more and more cities get a small Bangalore or Hyderabad, more and more cities in different states, more student will get involved. Their families will get to know, okay, there is another industry just beside IT. So it will gradually, in coming 20 years, it will become okay. IT, like IT, there is another industry called VLSI. Electronic students goes there. Sometimes computer students also, they goes there and they work. It's a high tech thing, and yes, it's there. Not like that every time you have to point out to a laptop or computer or mobile to say that there is a chip and we make that. We work on that. It's not like that. It will not remain in that way,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. You were right.
Yes. So your career is spanning over 20 years and you have changed 7 companies. I have noticed that. So on an average, almost less than 3 years, actually, you have stayed. If do average, I mean, two things happen. First, adaptability. That every company, with respect to culture, working culture, depending on size, that changes. How you adapt it. Either you have adapted very quickly, or you are very adaptable by nature. You are very Your adaptation is really good. What is the case, and how you suggest others to get adapted? What are the key points there? And another question on that: everyone has an overarching career goal. While we change, it's not very easily can match job roles. Sometimes a little bit 30% matching, rather 70% new learning. You cannot stick to one field when you are changing job. How you manage that thing while changing jobs? These two things.
Yeah, so primarily, if you think about that, it was not a disjoint set. When I started, as I mentioned about, it was only about playing on the front end, and now it has moved to the back end. So it was a smooth journey. Started with Verilog VSDL, and then how do you understand the Verilog things? That means you need to parse it. You need to find that what it is written there. You need to read it, and then you move to the next time is basically the uh, what are the constraint out there that you can put on the very of visual design, and then timing analysis you generally move towards the back end side of things, right? And then now, so I can say that in typical technology term it can be a RTL to GBS to transformation. So
Great.
I started with Verilog and I end up with Virtuoso. So it was a transition and it happened in that way itself. It's not that I changed. I got the opportunity, I got the offer, and I took a decision. Let's know something. Let's know beyond that. So I have not left the technology. Technology was with me throughout my career, and
Okay.
maybe you can say, um, and right now also I am more into the knowing about the semiconductor manufacturing. It was not very known to me, and right now it is a proliferation. Even in India, there are a lot of semiconductor manufacturing plant. But uh, coming to this topic that you have mentioned is that basically it was a transition. It was not a disjoint thing. It was a transition and more sort of in terms of technology. But in terms of company, that I got the opportunity in that way to mix with many people and many types of people and many geographical people. I worked with designers, uh, uh, application engineers,
Hmm. Yes.
R&Ds, my juniors. Even I led a team also during my career
Yes.
and deliver product to offshore. Uh, so there are a lot of experiences that I have acquired during these things. But maybe you can say that I have not stayed for a company for 10 years or 20 years. Maybe I could
Hmm.
have a
Hmm.
typical master of this technology, and maybe that is not. But I know the whole flow, and so yeah. So that is the thing. So yeah,
Actually, that I noticed in your career. That's why I'm asking you. So you led one team.
and
You
initially
are leading.
little bit of curiosity of
Yeah.
knowing the technology. I used to take more work and in order to know things, and used to work sometimes even the weekends also. But
Hmm.
now as we move on the physical side of the things, on the back end side of the things, I've started to know that you need to improve your efficiency rather than spending or stretching your time. But yeah, just a side talk on that.
So you have led a team, and then you enrolled in a course on AI. Back to student life. How it felt after leading a team of engineers, becoming a student again. How was the
So
feeling?
it was working in the industry alongside I did this. So it was not a full-time class, but doing
Okay.
towards the week, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing.
Okay.
And the decision I took is basically because I felt that artificial intelligence is something that has been a buzzword before, but that is going to come at some point of time. And
Hmm.
true to the things that even within 1.5 years now, suddenly it came to the market and it is basically wiping out everything right now.
Yes.
So whatever I am here right now, because in that time of matter of time, I authored book on that on the semiconductor side of things, and I know that what is artificial intelligence. I know how to make the models. I know how to you know make communications with the engineers or common people, interfacing with the artificial intelligence. And so those things I have learned. It was more about the application side of the industry, I would say. And a lot of things I have learned. So I think that learning is not a bad thing as long as it is something that come into your purpose.
No, no,
And it
absolutely good
also,
thing. Absolute learning
yeah,
is
so
absolutely good thing. If
learning
you
in
are
the
in a
sense technological
in
learning, you need to keep up to the things, because you need to understand what is happening. At in order to understand it better
hmm,
way, you need to do something of learning also.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so that's why I did this from IIT Roorkee,
Hmm.
and it was a very good and thorough AI learning out of things, I would say. And now I can extend it further based on the groundwork I have on these things. But sometimes becoming a student kind of things, not bad, I would say. It was just a brainstorming kind of thing that we do, along with doing the regular work or regular discussions or things. Yeah,
No, actually, when you are in VLSI or embedded systems, things changes so fast that we are actually we are perpetual student life always continues. I mean, I started my research days with 125 nanometer, I guess. I ended my industry work with 25 nanometer and or less, and now I am now studying AI myself. I'm reading books and all these things, so it's going on. It will go on. That is the beauty of this field. If you are ready
and in
to
that
dedicate
way
yourself,
in that way you can bring more transistor in a chip, right? So that
yeah,
basically gives
that
that
is the most
more
interesting.
functionality, more revenue generations, more number of people are working, you know
Hmm.
that that is something really really huge. And as you mentioned about that, within a few I would say years, certainly 25 nanometer or 28 nanometer certainly came down to 3 and 4 nanometer right now.
Suddenly, and now Gate All Around
And
has the last
people are
breakthrough
talking a lot
in
of about
2024.
now they're talking about 1.6 nanometer.
Yeah,
Huh?
and that ASML and the IMEC UV lithography machine has
Hydrogen machine.
in action. Yeah, that has in action. Then we don't know. Previously, we are doing multi patterning, and now it's an amazing field. It's every day something new is coming up. Always on your edge, and always it gives so much. I'm very excited. Probably I could not be happy in any other field rather than VLSI. It's always on your toes, always young. You feel young from inside because you are learning. And
Yeah, that is
you
that is a message to the people who are just started their journey in semiconductor, and they are dedicating on that semiconductor side of things. So there are a lot of things that is coming on semiconductor innovation. So they
yeah,
should be boost up and start learning. And even the mid career people also, they should also keep on knowing the newer things, newer technology, because uh, marketing, and there are a lot of semiconductor markets and that revenues which are we are hearing those news, right? Every day there are no new things that is happening. So we should prepare ourselves for that to grab
yeah.
any opportunity.
I must appreciate you that you even when you are building something, it's absolute very hard work. You have written a book. You have before coming to this new journey, you educated yourself for coming days. Perfect planning. It's really good thing to do. And then you have written a book and you maintain a blog, and from this forum you are my senior in industry, and many seniors are out there. So I would request everyone, if you get time, start to write blog, because the kind of experience you people have got, we don't have that. You are the probably the first generation or of VLSI in India scenario. Whatever you have seen, we have not. So please write blog, so that more and more perspective, more things come out, and we get to know. I mean, everything
So that is a
could be
way of
seen in different light.
communicating with. communicating with people also, right? Something that
Yeah.
if more people join in that community, blog is a community, blogging is a community. If, more people join in the community, so they can share their ideas also, right? Something,
Yes.
yeah,
And young student get so much benefited from that,
benefited
because
because the
perhaps my
internet.
explanation doesn't ring the bell for them. Your explanation might be. They might understand your explanation on same topic. Your write up is better for them. Someone understands your writing better, someone understanding my writing better, some senior writing it. I mean, options should be there. Not everyone like every teacher. Everyone has their favorite teacher. So if options are there coming up, we have to build a very good workforce, skilled workforce for coming days in India. So that will really help us. And I can say, blog I write, I get significant viewership from abroad. 10% come from US. Europe, it's highly popular, very popular. From UK, from Germany, I was very shocked. From Germany and France, because in my mind, I always know that they are very advanced. They are reading my blog. That became kind of, I mean, wow. They are also reading my blog. So viewership is coming from every corner. So I mean, you must be get to know from the dashboard, the report you get, that from every corner people are reading your blog. So that gives really confidence and happiness. This is happiness, absolute happiness. So I would request my seniors in this industry, please, if you have time, please spend some time, write blog, whatever we
Yeah, share
don't know.
experience. Yeah,
Please share your
share experience.
experience. Yeah, we will get benefited. And during your course, have you completed all your assignments in time?
Yeah, so I started it such a way that I was not very confident about doing, but as it moves on, I started, I think, 1 month before itself. What is the minimum criteria of completing the assignment for that? And then last the final 1 month, I just relaxed, this way. But yeah. So basically, I as I mentioned that it was a good thing, right? You do something along with your normal things to keep yourself charged up, to keep yourself things are moving like that. Yeah.
Good. I mean, it's not easy. You are in a job and then completing assignment every weekend. You book your. You are for a
It's
particular time. You are
more about
completely
keeping a
engaged.
time aside. So it's basically whatever doing for Monday to Friday and then
Discipline.
Saturday Sunday, keep your time aside, do something different.
It's a discipline for almost 1 year or 2 year or 8 months, whatever the course length is. It's a complete discipline for those time period. So now talk about your book, your new book, VLSI for all. I think I'm also belong to that all. So please tell us about your book.
Real estate for all is something that I have written for people, as we discussed about, from novices to expert. So I think that people should start learning about semiconductor now. It is a high time. There are a lot of market, lot of talk what is going on in semiconductor, and people should learn. This book guides them to learn semiconductor in a very crisp way. The book has two sections, section A and section B. Section is basically something that, as we are talking about semiconductor, it was something like that. It was a very crisp way it was written. Even if you do not know semiconductor, you can correlate with the things. Maybe there are few technologies or terminologies that can be different, but otherwise, just for example, you are talking about what is as we are talking about that more technological chips, right? 25 nanometer, 28 nanometer suddenly came to 3 and 4 nanometer chip. So why what is the invention of doing that? And as we combine, as we put more transistor in a chip, the chip is being heated up, and then to think some such a way that you need to do, it was a common sense. When you cannot accommodate more number of transistor in a chip, what you can do, you can do it on a vertical, on a vertical, you need to, on the
Stacking.
steady side of things, stacking side of things. So it is very natural. People can understand that. And when you are doing a stacking, you need to do a interface between the different layers. In that way, in a small size of things, you can do these things. And so previously, there were coolant were being used in the semiconductor chip cooling side of things. So you can now, instead of doing this, you can put your 18 nanometer Intel technology where you can put some chips towards the periphery of the side of things. I'm not talking in detail about these things, otherwise it can be an elaborated discussion.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
But
sure.
in
Just keep
general,
it.
giving some idea on that or something, for
Hmm.
example, now there is kind of cheap act or cheap wear is going on, right? So every company is now every country is now trying to build their own chip, right? Because there was a chip shortage or there was some kind of crisis has come up, past 3 4 years, where it was very delayed due to the delayed supply of the chip. There were a lot of
Hmm.
inventory cutout has happened.
Hmm.
So now US, India, and uh, every country, even in Europe, every people are doing, building their own chips. Why it is like
Hmm.
that? What are the technologies? Who is the number one? That is the TSMC. So TSMC is number one in fabricating chips. So now they are also trying to do some fabrication outside. They are going to Arizona in US to build some chip manufacturing factory.
Hmm. Yeah.
NVIDIA has proliferated. So if you need to know about those news, every day you are hearing those news, but you need to understand something basic about what is chip and
Why
how
these
things
are
are
these
done.
things are happening?
They are
Yeah.
very interesting things. And if we go through this book, it is basically a very quick read for the first half, and for the expert, they can go to the second half and they can go some detailed analysis. So I would say it is
Okay.
more sort of starting with some kind of snacks and then you go to a tea version of things for the semiconductor. That's why I started with semiconductor for all. If people like this, then I can go and extend it, further. And most
Okay.
importantly, it is not a very rigorous thing. Just 25 fascinating topics has been discussed, and I launched it in 2025. And this is an ebook, and you can get a Kindle edition for that. So it is very
Hmm.
convenient. Whatever the area you belong in the throughout the globe, anybody can go to the online and download these books and read in the Kindle version of it.
Okay.
So yeah, and it is not very costly. I would say maybe some $250 or some $3 kind of thing. And people can go in, people spend their money on the pizza side of things also, so they can buy a book and start you know just for curiosity they can do some kind of learning on that. Yeah,
Just because you mentioned pizza, pizza can give you some fat, belly fat, but
yeah,
The book from Subhashish can give you some
yeah, anything.
knowledge.
So
It will
anything. I
enhance
mean,
your gray matter, not give you some
you can you can
belly
you can
fat.
read the book
So,
along with pizza also, along with
yeah,
cold drinks also, or anything. So my point of thing is basically you can you can spend that much of money to buy this
yeah,
book, and you can read it on a corner of the house. And yeah,
good. So right now, are you planning for any hardcover version of it, or it will remain in like that
yeah,
only?
I got some feedback from people that some people are asking for paperback side of things, and I have a plan to release the paperback of this book, and let's see how it goes, because it has been, I think, just released, and let me see how is the reaction of the book and how people are taking this book, and based on that, I'm planning to release the paperback side of things. Yeah,
Actually, this kind of book is really good because I mean, the journey it all started with transistor, gradually through nodes, then now stacking device. AI is including how this journey is connected. The guys who are entering right now might be a little bit, confusing for them. If there is a connecting dot kind of documentation is there from an expert, that will be very helpful, who has not gone through all these notes, right?
Can you come
It
back?
would be,
Can you come back again? What is the exact question?
no, I'm not the question. I'm saying the kind of book you have written, it's kind of connecting the dots. All the dots you have touched, you have connected. Starting, if we look at the journey of semiconductor industry, from matured node to smaller node, now stacking device. So if you glide through all these points for younger students in simplistic way, then it will be easier for them to understand why if a student is entering now, they already start to get work on much more advanced node, which we work later in our career. So they will realize, okay, so this is the right now we are here and we will go there. Right now from this time frame, this is advanced technology, this is matured node. And connectivity, if such book come out where connectivity is done, then that is very useful for young students who are entering the field. So this connecting dot kind of documentation is very important for I think those who are not very deep inside semiconductor, that is very important for them also. A kind of always go to handbook kind of thing. Okay, what is that? Okay, let's take a reference. Okay, okay, yeah, 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 I remember now. Okay, let's again do my work. It's really helpful, this kind of book. And so you have mentioned all these developments. You gave me a write up about the book, the latest development shaping the industry in
So
2025. So you have mentioned all these things there.
the book start with connecting dots, and second half of the book, part A and part B. Part B is basically more rigorous, and we expect that people should have some kind of semiconductor understanding on that, and they can proliferate further on the semiconductor things. So starting with connecting dots, and then you go further. Again, it's a transition. You cannot, push someone onto the semiconductor domain and tell him that go and understand the things in 2025. Uh, I think it is maybe a little challenging for them. So that's why I have given a transition to wave,
Very
ride
good.
the
Yes.
wave, and start feeling this. And let's see how people react to it.
Yeah. Wish you best of luck for your book, and
Thank you.
I believe this kind of book much will get much popularity because it's a need of this hour. Very
Yeah, people are
timely.
people are giving people are giving good reactions. People have told me, people have read this book, that they told me personally that it is a very crisp reading for them. And some people, even very educated people also, they are very eager to write, to read those semiconductor things, even though they are expert, but they have shown the eagerness, and that is a blessings for me, that they are curious still at this age, that they can go and read this book without any dilemma. So that's a big thing. I want more and more people read this book and send me a feedback, and based on this feedback, I can think of further versions of the book. As you mentioned, these kinds of book is very important for any generations.
Mhm.
So I will keep a tab on that. Yeah.
Okay, so uh, since you were in EDA tool development side for a long time, so can you tell us how AI is transforming this field? I mean, are these tools become more responsive to for the user or designer who is using it? What is enhanced with AI when in a EDA tool AI is implemented? What is happening? Is it becoming more responsive, giving more accuracy? What is happening?
Okay, so let's keep some idea on that, on the AI aspect of the EDA tool development. So starting with Verilog, you write something on the Verilog, you need to know what is Verilog. Now, if you give some statement in English that I want this kind of designs, and you feed this to AI right now, so they can prepare some Verilog model for it. You do not need to code for it. There is some automations out there, but
Okay.
you need to verify yourself. It may not be 100% expectation that what you are getting. So that is the automation. AI can help you, but you cannot, you know, trust
Completely.
100% to AI. Next level, when you run a particular Verilog parser, I'm starting with from the beginning, very beginning start of things. It will generate some log, or any tool, any EDA tool, it will generate some log. You feed it to AI, and wait, AI can learn and understand. There are some errors. There can be some design errors, some design info warnings. Say design version one, and AI can read all these versions. You bring another version. Generally, what happens is that on top of a design, another innovation takes place, and there are some similarities between design blocks out there.
Mm-hmm.
So AI, I'm telling about hypothetical side of things. So AI can
Hmm.
track those things that okay, this was my version one, this is my version two. How much percentage has been changed? Maybe 10% or 20% has been changed. The rest 80% can be automated by AI. They know that whatever the design pitfalls has happened for version one, then that should not be repeated in version two. So
Okay.
it is a very hypothetical things. AI can do lot of many things, or any schematic or anything. AI can capture what you have own the designs in the schematic things. They can capture those information. When you go to the other version of the design, they can first point out that those are the areas that you can further think of. And
Okay.
so you can focus on these things and forget about the rest of the designs that had already been validated with version previous version side. Even
Okay.
static timing analysis also, those are more technical terms, the critical paths and all these things you have. So those things can be taught to AI, and so AI knows that whatever your particular design you are talking about a IP, or you are talking about SOC, different blocks. So those things, there are a lot of opportunities, but the biggest problem with AI is basically you need to validate that whether it's trustable or not. Second thing is that you need to feed huge data to AI for AI to come up to a conclusion, and that is something industry it is missing, I would say, at this point of time, because
That
I
means more
know,
servers, isn't
I
it?
know,
More servers.
I know. So basically, AI is basically the more data you feed it to AI, it is more like kind of children, that more things you teach your children, then something you can expect out of these children to qualify it. So AI is something
Okay.
like that. You feed more things, and then you can expect something more matured. So I think there are a lot of opportunities in EDA tools and semiconductor, but we'll see that how things goes up in agile semiconductor also. um, I primarily focus on the AI driven side of things, and there are some innovations which is happening in my company in agile OA side of things, and it's more sort of automations and being AI driven, and we'll see how much automations can be done with AI. But people also should learn AI, that how they can interface with AI, how they can quickly. Even I talk with the academic experts also, that they are also doing some kind of experimentations with AI, and so from a industry technological side of things, and from an academic side of things, all of them are started accounted with the AI applications. So I
Okay.
think there are long way to go for AI to
Yeah,
help us
definitely.
in semiconductor industry. Sorry to I
Yes.
have taken some more time
It's okay.
on
It's okay.
describing on a
Because you
more
are the
technical side of things,
guest.
but yeah. So yeah.
No, no, it's a fully technical podcast for our domain only. It's
No,
not
I
an
mean to say it is
entertainment.
more sort of a hypothetical side of things. It is not something that I can
I can relate
directly
a
show
little bit
you.
just
But
because
yeah,
I regularly use some AI tools, and recently I saw that VS Code and that copilot thing is introduced in VS Code. So I was thinking, in obviously we don't use right now, we are not using any proprietary tool, we are using free open tools. The new version, have you heard about Q Spice, the next generation of LT Spice? Recently, the author of Q Spice, Mike Engelhardt, he came to our show TSP, and I get to see his post. He has mentioned some AI features included in Q Spice also. So get to understand the kind of feature, speed is increased or auto suggestions are there. So I have a little bit of idea what these are things.
Good.
So when it's AI, that is the need of this data center huge, because when you are feeding a lot of data, it have to be connected with much more bigger servers. I mean, if like a big metro cash and carry set up big server room, bigger, cooler server room, so more servers, more data. That's why in that way, obviously more employment chances, more research area will come up. So EC and computer science students will have more chances if they are uh, they want to get into this core sector. In one way, AI will help end user designers, time to market will reduce, I guess. At the same time, research and work, developing tools, more R&D engineers, and they are required for this. So in both way, it will not reduce, rather increase more jobs, create more jobs.
It not
Okay, so
necessarily be a R&D engineer. It is in general. Now the job has been going to be changed. It is
okay,
going to be machine learning expert. It is going to
yeah,
be AI agent. It is going to
AI
be,
agent. Okay,
yeah, and it is going to be managing of AI. So those are some kind of things that people are proposing to be happened in future.
okay. So
But
new
let's see
job,
how it
no.
knows. The R&D engineer should know very well that what is it is AI is going to do. But I don't know when it
uh,
is happen. 5 years or 10 years. I don't know.
But we have
But
already entered. We have already entered, especially in
already
this
entered.
week. China has introduced all these AI models, keeping them open source. Things are moving completely in uh, other direction, and completely very fast. It's moving very fast. Also, every day something is happening around the world. So, what your personal feeling being an entrepreneur, being a part of big corporation, handling lot of job pressure is one thing, and handling everything of your own. You are the captain of this ship. How is your feeling? How? Oh, what are you thinking? Now
Yeah. So
everyone in your team depend on you.
yeah. So it is. I would say very challenging because you have to take all the blows yourself first, and then you can direct or channelize those to the resources. But as a since agile semiconductor is something on more on the startup side of things, more bootstrap side of things. It is not that there is many people or huge organizations is working against it. So we have the opportunity to change model to make agile things side of things, and I think marketing is very challenging at this point of time because
Hmm.
I want customers to really understand what things are going on in Agile Semiconductor, and they should come, they should send mail or some contact to me, and I can give some more detailed about the inception models. So I can also want to if uh, together we can drive this. That would be a great because if we get more feedback during the inception inception side of things, then it will be better to build a software applications, and that is very important. And I also the also important is, as you mentioned about the resource side of things. I need resource who can work on a very flexible model side of things, and they can do some kind of idea generations, and they can give their shoulder for any problem or anything that happens. And they they kind of sort of not a typical professional thinking, but more sort of on a startup model side of thinking that go and solve the problem.
Hmm.
So those things are important for proliferation, but let's see. So how this idea is basically you know getting more concrete, and so that I can come up with some more details. But
Yeah.
at present, it is I'm not revealing all the things. So
No,
let's
sure,
see
sure.
how it goes. Maybe in our
Okay.
next meeting, I can tell you in more detail
Yeah,
what are the
obviously. I mean,
something
it's a journey. Um,
something like Q Spice and all these things. They have incorporated AI. So how you know new tool or existing tool can be modernized with AI aspect side of things.
it's always challenging starting something of your own and then getting till waiting the first ice breaking. And when I started to break, that's another level of feeling. I understand it, though ours are not startup, it's kind of different altogether. Still we understand the from first 1,000 subscriber we felt what kind of feeling it comes. 1,000 views in a month, that I remember, because the blog I completely write on my own and I do that thing. So I understand how it feels from 1,000
Yeah,
to 10,000 per month. We got that
I
journey.
know
Understand.
people may be initially reluctant, and then they can when they start getting the values out of it. I'm sure that they will obviously come and feel that, and they can share their side of things. But
On that thing,
yeah,
I think, do you think that in India this kind of culture should evolve, that those who could be your prospected customer, at least they call you and set up a call and talk to you. Okay, he's the new guy in the in here, let's talk to him, what he's doing, what kind of thing. Probably there is some option is there where we can work together. This kind of agile thinking should be there in India also, do you think? I mean, it's
so it is.
I believe a little bit
So it
stereotyped,
is
I
not
think.
necessarily a. You are talking about that visiting office kind of things, but I do not think it's that way. It is
No, no, not
basically
visiting office
MNC
now.
side of things. Say, for example, we are talking, right? We are talking in a
Hmm.
meeting. We are sharing our ideas. So it can be
Yeah, yeah,
simple
that
like that.
also can happen.
It start with that, and it can
Yeah,
be online meeting or online discussion. And as we build our bond, build trust with each other,
exactly, I'm
so
talking
then
about it, professional
obviously money
trust.
will flow, and business will be generated. It
Yeah.
is simply like that.
Yes, I'm talking about professional trust, because uh, for viewers, we have set up this completed a communication to set up everything. I think we started from Thursday, Mo- Monday. Today we are doing this podcast almost 53 minutes covered. We are coming to the closing the session almost. So within 5 days we have done everything. You had a trust on me. I asked you, you send me to the link of the book, and I said, why don't we discuss on live? Many people will get benefited, and you are engaged in so many things. There are so many things to talk about. Let's talk. So you trusted the process. You, I took a chance, and you replied positively. I am talking about the same thing. The okay, a new company has come up, a new person is there, he is experienced. Just give him a call. Let's set up a call. Let's talk. If there is an we can do some business together or kind of work together. I think this kind of mental flexibility is also agility, as you said, that is also required,
Openness,
so
yeah.
that
So
this ecosystem will boost up ecosystem in India. Not only obviously the big corporation will be there, they have shown the way. Obviously some make in India companies should be there. That's why then this ecosystem will be more, this will get more boosted and more robust. We have something of our own, be it a small enterprise, but that's completely Indian. I'm thinking in that way. I mean, Indian thing going global, that's the best thing. It feels good so much, isn't it? Even Tata was small one day. So obviously, everyone starts from small and go big. So at
Mm.
least people show this agility. I think that is really good. Finally, what you will suggest to the young professional? How to prepare for coming days, because things are changing so fast. How should they prepare for coming days in technical fields like VLSI?
Yeah, so for the younger people, I would say that they should keep themselves outdated. People who are in the organization, they should get connected with the organization. They should get connected with the people. Alongside, they should need to prep up themselves for any new technology. They should be acquainted with what is happening right now. What is CHIPS Act? What is Science Act? Not necessarily in India, but also in other geographies like US, like Europe. They should be well aware of what is happening. So not necessarily they should be staying in India. They can go abroad also for their further
Mm,
studies. They can be employed in other countries also. So it is a global thing, and they can also
mm,
qualify it in India itself. So I would say that think in global point of view, and write something meaningful, and read the interesting things, something like blogs. Go and read my blog on a regular basis. You will learn
mm,
something, and for your show also. So if they can follow your show on a regular basis, they will learn something. It is not a huge time will be taken up, but it is a small thing they can if they can invest just for knowing and just for getting acquainted with what is happening. That will be beneficial. It may not be. I know that there is a patience problem out things. The things are going in same way for few months, 6 months, but over a time period, things will change, and then they will feel that okay, the investment that has been made bring a fruit for them, and I think persistence is the key.
yeah,
So yeah, so keep doing your work, and the result will come
yeah, sure.
someday. Yeah.
When I was on, I think, last 6 months of my job in Intera, my manager suggested me one thing, that learn something new every day, be it technical, be it non technical. Trust me, that's the day and today also. Till date, I every day, if I cannot learn something new every day, at least every week, and that changed me completely. I learned so many things, including bargaining with sabziwala, cooking, everything. My life has completely changed after that. In
Mm,
6 months, I started to feel the change. Technical, non-technical, that
mm.
becomes a part of my life now. So learning is really very, very important. I mean, in fact, whoever I get, sometimes people
We are
just
learning. That's why we are staying in the society. We are evolving. Everybody
yeah,
is learning. It's not that.
yeah,
That's why they are here. That's why they are staying. They are going on.
yeah.
From
And
morning to night.
I do it
They need
very awarely. I mean, aware learning, very aware about that. I have to learn something. So that changes life. Technical learning is the only way, I
Yeah, so
think.
when you buy some vegetables, you know that what is the previous day price, what is the current day price, what is the inflation, how much is
I
the
was
inflation.
ignorant before that also.
Yeah.
I was ignorant. As a common mediocre Bengali family, my parents used to do everything. When I
Mm,
was in Delhi, I was all my own. So I have to bargain there with the sabziwala. So, and that way I learned Hindi. My Hindi is better than average Bengali because of those. The all credit goes to
mm.
all those bargaining. So I learned everything in, in these
Observation
years.
observation is the key. So whenever I go, you can see some scanning machines is going on. You can ask that what is the machine, and is there any chip
Yes.
out there, and something, right? So yeah, so those are nothing but happens casually. I mean, human nature.
Yeah. So we had a long chat of 1 hour. Thank you for coming. You have accepted invitation, and within short period of time,
Yeah,
you gave this.
thank you for inviting me. I think it is a very interesting discussions, and I would say it is the introduction of a
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah,
So
and your
it was
career graph is very
everything,
interesting.
everything. Starting from book publishing. My recent book has been published. I think a few days back. I started doing promotion. So I think it is a good opportunity for me to come and join your channel and promote my book so that your viewers also go and
Yes.
buy this book. It is very easy. You can buy it online. That's why
Mm-hmm.
it is a
Mm-hmm.
Kindle version started. And
Mm-hmm.
also I discussed about the new startup that I'm working on so that
Yes.
people can go and follow my startup, go and
Mm-hmm.
search this company in the LinkedIn, and you will
Mm-hmm.
find a company page. Do join this company page and also follow my blogs where I keep updated with the recent technological changes that has happened and is going to change. So follow these things, and I'm sure that you will be benefited. And I think all of things are free because internet is free in our country.
Mm.
So we should thank that we get a very cheap internet in India.
Yes.
Cheapest, I would say,
Uh,
second cheapest country in terms of internet.
okay.
So
By the way,
just
which one is top?
I do not
Mm,
remember. I someday I you know
okay,
saw a
I will
bar chart.
find. I mean,
Bar chart,
uh,
yeah. So yeah,
second
go and
cheapest. There must be. Okay,
yeah,
so I
utilize
will
this
mention.
internet.
Okay, your blog link, your link of your book from where others can buy, and your company page link. I will mention everything in the description of this video. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
It's really nice talking to you. And those who are watching, young professionals, look at Subhashish. Even after 20 years of experience embarking on a new journey, he went for a professional course that is called planning. So whatever you take decision in your life, take aware and informed, well informed decision. And all the best for your this new journey, Subhashish. Thank you very much for this
Thank you.
session. So we are completed our session today. Do follow, like, share, and subscribe to Tech Simplified TV, and don't forget to watch the Semiconductor podcast. It's our own field, own domain. Here we celebrate technology and people related to technology and who contribute. Thank you very much for watching up
Thank
to
you.
this point. Thank you. Bye for today. We'll meet with another exciting episode. Bye.